Shh, shh, shh. What you don't know, can I? What you don't know, can I? Believe me, all I want is for myself, 'cause I've been quiet way too long.
Hey, Dr. Film here, and yes, I'm qualified to have that name. Before we begin, you should know that this review will contain no spoilers. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for reviews and more. And please follow me on Instagram at Dr. Film Roxas for updates on my channel. And so, without further delay, let's get on with this review. Oh boy.
The characters.
Let's start off with our characters, starting with... Wait, what was her name again? Rachel Stone, right, Rachel Stone. Rachel Stone, played by Gal Gadot. And she was... Alright, I'm just gonna be honest here. I cannot stand this character. Look, I'm not saying she's annoying or anything, but the way her character was written, she was so two-dimensional. She's all moody and quiet. She has little to no personality traits. And it doesn't help that Gal Gadot is playing this character. No offense, but she didn't really capture my attention, let alone my interests. Heck, I might even say this. I would rather follow Scarlett Johansson as a Black Widow. I would rather follow Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde. Heck, I would rather follow Lara Croft than Rachel Stone anytime, any place. I know Tomb Raider technically isn't a spy movie, but you do get my point, right?
I don't care!
As for the supporting characters, they were just cheap carbon copycats of the characters from the James Bond movies. And you wouldn't care much about them if one of them dies or not. And don't get me started on the antagonists, especially Kea, played by Alia Bhatt. You might recognize this actress from this awesome movie called RRR. In that movie, she was pretty good. But in this movie, her character was just all over the place. I get what the writers were trying to go for here. They were trying to make her as one of those villains that have conflicted morale. But honestly, I could care less what this character has been through or why she's doing what she's doing. And believe it or not, this is Alia Bhatt's Hollywood debut. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that this is her first appearance in a Hollywood movie, and yet they wrote her character so horribly? Come on, you guys!
This stinks.
Well, moving on.
Action and visual effects.
Now, the action in this film was pretty standard and not that exciting at all. You can tell that the action scenes were done by using CGI or green screen effects. I mean, look at them! You expect me to believe that Gal Gadot was riding that motorcycle? Or that she was parachuting down from a snowy mountain? Guys, you're not Marvel! You're Netflix! You made Extraction 2 for crying out loud! The action in that movie was intense, exhilarating, and freaking heart-pounding. Sure, some CGI was involved, but they only used CGI when it was completely necessary. But in here, the CGI use was completely unnecessary. Let's get on with the next category. And thankfully, this is the last category that we will cover in this review.
The story.
I gotta be honest here. The story feels like the writers were prioritizing the action sequences more than the development of the characters. Not to mention, some of the dialogue that the characters say in this movie was so freaking cringy as heck. I can show you what I'm talking about, but I don't want to reveal any spoilers. But if you have seen this movie before clicking down on this video, then you know which dialogue I'm talking about. And worst of all, the story is actually ripping off from the story of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I'm serious here. In Heart of Stone, the villains use this super advanced technology that surveys all the technologies in the world, basically making them impossible to defeat. And gee, does that remind you of another movie where the villains use this advanced technology that makes them unbeatable to our protagonists? Oh wait, I know! Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning! Part 1! My gosh, not only are the writers copying from the James Bond movies, but they're also copying the Mission Impossible movies. What other movies have they copied from?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, sir, because I have a list.
Stop. I'm gonna stop you right there before you piss me off.
Sorry, sir. Never again. I promise.
Okay.
Overall, my friends, this movie was cheap. The writing was cheap. The action looked cheap. The CGI looked cheap. Everything about this film is a cheap, lazy attempt of copying other spy movies. It's as though copying other people's work would somehow make their movie better than all of them. But no, it resulted in a slow, lazy, boring, and most of all, a generic spy movie that you have ever come across. The only good purpose that this film has is to kill time. You heard me right. The only good time you can watch this film is when you're killing time. And that's what this film did for me. What a freaking waste. With all that said, Heart of Stone scores a 6 out of 10. Finally! That's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And please follow me on TikTok at Doc Ronces for trailer reactions, funny videos, you name it. And as always, I will see you guys at our next appointment.